All right, friends, it's T-Man, and we're back with the test booster himself, JasonBlaha. So we're going to react to his new video here, the gym lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slaves video. Blaha says test boosters are a massive scam and have been for decades. Well, it's about time he brought up something that actually is a scam. Like his ice cream fitness program, 5x5, that's a scam. And him trying to convince people that carnivore is going to give you diabetes and health gut issues. That's a scam.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here representing JasonBlaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about...
Oh, and that if you go carnivore, you must be insane. That's a scam too. Huh.
Testosterone boosters, which have pretty much been one of the biggest scams of the supplement industry forever. But a quick...
Oh, and here's another scam by Blaha. If you lift these weights, they're going to magically build muscles. You're going to get hypertrophy from lifting a weight. Your muscles are going to hypertrophy just because you lifted weights. Not. That's a scam.
Reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you aren't following or subscribed, please do so. If you'll be kind enough to drop the comments down below, I would appreciate that so much. Thank you. Things that I don't think people think about with this idea of over-the-counter testosterone boosters. It's the same problem you run into with other things. The first problem is the assumption that if they worked, they would somehow be better than taking a drug. Okay, and I want to be clear, they never actually work. So when this is studied to any meaningful degree, none of these things ever really in the long term boost testosterone. It's always...
Why would they work? They're artificial, they're fake. That's not how testosterone, your testosterone, is boosted. There's a temporary boost lifting weights, but it'll crash it. That's what it does. It crashes your testosterone. That's why you keep coming back lifting weights, because it's constantly crashing your testosterone, so you're coming back and lifting. And you are a domesticated animal because you cannot stop eating slop. You can't stop eating what pigs eat. Slop. They feed pig slop. Pigs are domesticated. They're boars. They've domesticated them. How? By feeding them the same diet that you're eating. A bunch of plants and stuff. Garbage plant foods and things. Man-made foods. That's what happens to humans. Same thing. And then you have low testosterone and you get fat like Blaha, and you lose your hair like pigs. They lose their hair, they lose their tusks, and they get fat. That's Blaha. Loss of hair and he got fat lifting.
These very rare, strange studies where you get a transient effect. And it's usually stuff where people really have clinically low testosterone from overtraining type things and they get a small boost. It is not actually...
There you go, overtraining, low testosterone. If you were to eat your natural diet, animal products raw, then you'll have the optimal, you'll be in an optimal range of testosterone, yeah, for a human.
You know, enough to...
That's why people are going crazy about this testosterone shit. They're constantly going nuts. But whose fault is it? Your own. If you grew up on a natural animal, carnivore, whatever diet, raw diet, you wouldn't have any of these problems, but you have them because you weren't raised on them.
Cause muscle growth are really good quality of life improvements. Like this is...
You were raised on peanut butter sandwiches, just like Blaha. and apple juice.
Repeatedly what you see. Every time you find one that works, if you go look at the study, you're like, none of these results are impressive. And wait, what did they study? Look at their groups. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but it's stuff like, oh, overtrained endurance cyclists.
Look, I could tell you this. It really is somewhat too late to change a lot of the things that you could have changed with a raw animal diet. If you're still you're still going through puberty, you have a chance to change your look eating a raw animal diet. But after your growth plates close and everything, it's kind of a little bit too late for that. Now, as far as the aging part, you deteriorating faster than you're aging, definitely a raw animal diet is anti-aging. It stops that deterioration. You can even you can somewhat reverse it too. Depends on what you're doing there. Either you're in positive nitrogen balance or protein is outpacing protein breakdown. to reverse this deterioration, so you can regenerate your body, keep regenerating it, get it to regenerate. Especially if you're a much older person, it is hard to get your body to regenerate at this point. Should have started when you were younger. Like the old saying, people always say, should have started lifting when you were younger. Yeah, but you lifting when you were younger has nothing to do with getting old. With getting older, it does. It deteriorates you. That's why you shouldn't have started younger. See what I mean? I'm not saying some exercise is bad for you. You should be doing some movements, but not to the point where it's deteriorating you. But anyways,
who were ultra lean, who all had.
let's just put it this way: lifting does not regenerate you, but you could hit it in a gym and get a regenerative bout out of exercise. That's different. But if you keep lifting, you're deteriorating yourself faster than you're aging, because it just deteriorates you, but you have to suppress that deterioration now by outpacing protein breakdown. So that's going to cost you a lot of money and time to eat a lot to stop that deterioration from the lifting. Get it, man? Isn't that crazy? Jeez. It's just like factory workers. They simply are outpaced by protein breakdown than protein synthesis, and so they're deteriorating faster than they're regenerating, these factory workers. So by the time they retire, they look completely destroyed.
Low testosterone levels boosted
Or
them
construction workers or any labor workers, they're destroyed.
to still levels that most of us would say, that's really not that good. So you have all of these things to ponder, but then there's a couple of things that people aren't thinking about. So let's assume they work. Like they never actually work, and we'll go into that further. But what if they actually did? Do you know how much worse they would be than just taking a drug? And that's what people are missing. This is what they're missing. Number one, they don't ever.
But test boosters are not meant to work. That's the whole point. They don't work. If they did work, then everybody would be buying them, but they don't work.
Look at what the drugs do that boost testosterone, right? Because they're like, well, no, it's making your body produce more.
Okay, so your body produces more testosterone, and it's great for when you're developing, having good high testosterone, eating a natural animal diet, so you could develop your face, your bones, your muscle, into an attractive male. You want to attract females, right? It really is based on what? Attraction. Animals in nature, what do males do? Do you think they chase females? No. They attract females, and the females choose them to mate with. In the human world, it's the opposite. Men are ugly because they're underdeveloped, they're domesticated, underdeveloped, unattractive. So they chase women. But the truth is, women come to you whether they feel the attraction. So that's why they have this. You have these guys like King 69. He's like 6'9", not bad looking. He stands up, near clubs or places where there's women. He never chases women. They come up to him. Now ask yourself, how many women have come up to you that were interested in you? Because he gets lots of women that keep coming up to him. When did even one come up to you and ask you for your number, and she's interested in getting with you and having a family and yada yada because you're a genetic specimen? When was the last time a woman came up to you? Ponder that thought, because I haven't seen a lot of women come up to any men. And the amount of men that when I look at them walking around, they don't look like genetic phenoms to me. They look very unattractive, the men, and they're not very tall, and they're not attractive at all. So there you go. So when a woman sees a guy super tall and good looking, believe me, they're going to start coming up to him. So think about that, ponder that thought. You want to start early while you're still even in puberty and eat as much raw animal products as you can so you can fully develop, so that you can attract the opposite sex and you can attract the best one to breed with.
Not injecting it, you're not getting the suppression, right? This is the claim, because I'm like, if you really want to boost your testosterone, testosterone's the cheapest, most effective, safest way to do it. And I do mean the safest. And people say, well, no, because it's suppressing. I want my body to produce more. And that's always, I want my body to produce more naturally. So you put a substance into your body, forcing it to produce more. Like, you're not natural. Like, at that point, if you have ever taken anything that you believe boosted your testosterone, stop calling yourself natural. That's just stupid. Just call yourself a steroid user. All right. It's just reality. Just stop. But, I digress. If you think it actually works, you're enhanced. All right? Understand that. You're not trying to be natural. You're just trying to miss a certain side effect. You don't want suppression. Well, here's the issue. Anyone who's messed with any of these things.
You want a natural test booster? Drink raw, uncooked beef blood. There's a test booster right there. Even raw milk, I guess, Those are natural test boosters.
Laughing, going, you really think something that boosts your testosterone is going to reduce side effects? Because there are drugs that do that, and that's the problem. People are like, I'm going to buy a test booster instead of just testosterone because I want to boost my production up.
Sure. There's
drugs that do that.
Yeah.
The reason people prefer to use testosterone.
Okay.
So light bulbs should be clicking for the ignorant people who don't know anything about the PED world. That's the only people who are dumb enough to buy into these test boosters. HCG is phenomenal for boosting testosterone. So that's essentially what...
That's a natural test booster, HCG. It's from pregnant women. They collect it. It's a hormone. It's peptide. It's a gonadotropin. So, that's natural. You could call it that, I guess. It's not synthetic. Then there's something synthetic like clomide or clomiphene, right? Test booster.
You're trying to get from some herb. You believe some herb or some amino acid is going to replicate what HCG does. HCG turns everything on, right? Flips up.
Well, high amounts of amino acids can boost testosterone because if HGH is boosted, then all other hormones must go up as well.
Sperm count, flips up testosterone production, everything. Because that's the only reason guys care about the suppression, right? They don't want to lose sperm count and stuff. Like HCG, great fertility drug.
Yeah.
However, the side effects are really high. Why? Because do you really think that there's a way to boost just one hormone in your body? Like, is anyone really interested?
I can tell you, I told you people already before, a combination of you lifting periodically, getting a damaging session, you causing micro tears to your body is a regenerative state. You're regenerating cells. Your body has to go through a regeneration. Getting, these micro tears, you go through regeneration. Now you're eating your natural diet. So when protein synthesis exceeds breakdown, you're also in a regenerative state there, and you're in a regenerative state when you've caused the satellite cell to come out of quiescence. Split, divide, increase the number.
You think that's how it works? It's not. So all these different drugs like this that boost testosterone boost other hormones with it. All your sex hormones are going to go up. Your estrogen, everything. People say, wait a minute. And this is synthetic drugs that are specifically designed to do it.
Yeah, HCG is not synthetic, though. It's a human chronic gonadotropin. But clomide is synthetic. So he's wrong.
You think that you're going to take some herbal supplement that's going to be more exact? Oh, there's just some herb you're going to find somewhere in the Himalayan mountains that just happens.
Well, there's turkesterone. Isn't that what Greg Doucette pushes? Turkesterone. It's a legal steroid of some sort, of some baloney.
To boost only testosterone through some new pathway that millions of dollars, billions of dollars of research can't find in a lab? You really think it's going to just isolate only the testosterone? You're delusional. You're listening to con man trying.
People are just lazy. They don't want to eat their natural diet. They're chicken shit.
To sell you something. No, if it actually worked, it's going to boost all sorts of hormones. There's going to be more side effects than just taking testosterone. Because when you take just testosterone, you're simply adding the one hormone you want. You're not making your body have a whole cascade of responses that starts producing a bunch of different hormones. Because that's how it would work. Anything that's going to stimulate one is going to stimulate others.
Yeah.
Okay, number one. People forget this. The side effects. Number two, there's no standardization. Why do you think when companies make certain drugs out of an herb or a plant and they extract it and concentrate it, do you not understand for it to be sold, it has to be standardized? Meaning it's in a controlled environment. They know exactly how much is in there.
That's why same sexes are attracted to same sexes now, because the testosterone is at the point where it's so low that it's, I guess, competing with estrogen or something. Yeah.
You're taking just some herbal supplement or some extract, it's not going to be the same.
I know people want to keep that high testosterone. Look, they go to the gym because the testosterone crashes, so they keep going back lifting a heavy weight to try to increase that testosterone. So they're a slave to the gym as well, not for just the lifting, which is aiding in lifting that heavy weight, the testosterone boost. So they constantly are going there to try to boost it artificially by lifting weights. But that isn't naturally increasing your testosterone. Naturally increasing it means you eating a natural raw animal diet. Your raw animal diet will boost your testosterone to normal. We'll put it to normal. Yeah.
Here's your problem. If you're taking
So
HCG,
you'll be stronger than the average person in the street because they're domesticated, eating domesticated, this slop, this food, which is causing their testosterone to be very low, probably around 300. But you'll be walking around like a genetic phenom well over 1,000, your testosterone. So the question is this: if your testosterone is well over 1,000 eating a natural animal diet, are you considered weak now? Or were you weak eating the slave food diet and your testosterone was just around 290, 300? See what I mean? You got to question everything. Do you need to go to the gym now?
for example, you can take an exact amount. You've got to produce the same effect all the time. If you take testosterone, you're going to take an exact amount. You're going to be able to
Look at this guy pushing the sled. Think that's boosting testosterone? That's lowering it.
have control of your levels.
He's just deteriorating, man. It just, regardless of what his testosterone's at, he's deteriorating. He has to inject testosterone because it's a domesticated animal.
standardized. The herb would not be standardized. So even if you found an herb that did this, the shelf life.
Synthetic hormones, they just deteriorate you too as well. If they're synthetic, they're from plants, they're toxic. The toxicity from the steroid that you're injecting or TRT or whatever, it is deteriorating you because your body cannot keep up with the regeneration. Again, only food could regenerate you. You understand me? Protein needs to outpace protein breakdown. And if your body is being subjected to this synthetic hormone, which is toxic, it carries a high toxicity level, then your body cannot regenerate faster than it is being destroyed. Get it? Deteriorating. So in order to overcome that, natural protein, raw natural protein needs to exceed that breakdown. Yeah.
Life is literally going to change. Like if it sits on the shelf for 30 days.
In other words, you need to regenerate faster than you're deteriorating. You have to regenerate quicker than you're deteriorating because of the steroids. So now you have to consume a lot of raw animal protein so you don't fucking deteriorate the shit out of yourself. But that doesn't mean your muscles are just going to magically grow because you ate protein and you took steroids. They're not magically growing muscles. Muscles are postmitotic, dude. You have testosterone in your system already. Why aren't your muscles just growing on your slave food diet or whatever you're eating there? Because they're postmitotic. So it doesn't matter if you took steroids. Then they're going to say, okay, but I lifted weights and I got bigger. No, not necessarily. You got non-contractile proteins in your muscle. You got pumped, non-contractile, because you're eating slave food diet again. You're misconstruing the slave food muscles for protein muscles. Those aren't protein muscles.
Versus 90 days, it's going to affect
In other words,
the potency.
that's not contractile proteins that you're building there. You're just fucking getting you're expanding the sarcoplasm.
The batch to batch, what day or which field it came from is going to affect the potency.
In other words, just going like that with your arms up and down is meaningless. Unless you put emphasis on there to try to cause it to micro tear, to go through a regeneration. That's totally different. But again, you still need to outpace protein breakdown when that happens. Otherwise, you're going to get smaller.
Have testosterone levels that fluctuate all the time. It's not going to be stable. You literally would have one batch where your side effects would be too high. You'd have another batch that is underdosed where you're not getting the benefit. Like, this whole idea is stupid. Like, that people really think that they're going to take something as important as their testosterone levels, and you're going to just take some herbal extract or some herb to do it that's not consistent batch to batch, so that you don't get consistent results. And it's going to give you more side effects than just taking a drug, potentially, especially with it being inconsistent. Right? This idea is ludicrous. But on top of it, it never actually works when these things are studied long term. They fail over and over and over when they're put into real testing. Right? Real testing is done on healthy young men and stuff. They don't ever produce the effect that they're marketed to have. They're a scam.
They are, just like everything Blaha does is a scam on his channel. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, whatever. Support the channel. Blaha.